Welcome to Northwest Spotlight on Mission. Let's look in on what God is doing through the lives of active Adventists who live and work and worship some 330 miles north of the Arctic Circle at the very top of Alaska. Sabbath is about to begin, and as the sun heads toward the lowest point in the sky, setting aglow Barrow, Alaska's whalebone arches, it's a cool 35 degrees below zero in this one stoplight town. At times, as many as 240 polar bears roam Barrow's beaches and coexist with the city's population of 5,000 warm-hearted, ethnically diverse individuals.
Hi, my name is Linda Ji Heng. I'm actually a jungle girl. I come from Borneo. I live in the Arctic in Barrow, Alaska.
I work for the North Slope Barrow School District, and I don't work exclusively here in Barrow. I travel to all of our village sites, and I do building controls.
My experience here in Barrow is, even though at times it's isolated and it feels like a desolate place, it's not that at all when you know the Lord.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Robbins, and you're in Barrow, Alaska. As you can see, an igloo is a pretty small place for our church to meet. I want to show you something. This is my house. This is where we've been meeting for the last 7 years, our small Adventist group here in Barrow. Come along, I'd like to show you something. We found this igloo for rent, but it's a little small. We're renting our own building now, and we'd like you to join us for Sabbath School. Currently we're meeting in an elementary school classroom. I'm kind of the reluctant leader of the farthest north Adventist group in the United States. There's been Native people that have shared our faith in Barrow for some time, but they're individuals, and they're coming together now.
When my husband and I moved back to Barrow, we saw all sorts of wonderful people we had never seen here before.
I returned to Barrow about 6 years ago. We've lived here most of the last 15, but we were pretty much alone as Adventists when we first came to Barrow.
And it was really nice to have a church family, because when we were here before, we didn't have that. And we would put cassettes into the tape player in the car and drive on the longest road out of Barrow, and it just wasn't as fulfilling as meeting with real people.
Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere?
And so now we actually have a church family. It's been growing ever since.
We needed to get out into the public, into a public building.
It just was not optimal.
People usually needed to know us a little bit better before they'd venture up and knock on a house door to attend church.
I didn't know them very well, and so I didn't really realize that they were Seventh-day Adventists, or that they were even meeting. And the only reason that I came particularly to that meeting of the church was because I saw the sign that said that they were meeting there on Sabbath. And our pastor, Jim Kincaid, is located in Anchorage, and can't get to us here in Barrow as often as he'd like. And
I'm the conference executive secretary, but I also pastor churches. And we try to either myself come in person or send a guest speaker once a quarter.
Here in Barrow, we're probably ministered to 90% of the time by email and internet. And I don't know whether you knew it or not, but the Gleaner is online now.
Get stories as soon as they come out and no longer have to wait for the U.S. mail.
And we are really excited about that.
Ken is one of those kind of natural leaders who looks around and realizes that the line has formed behind him. And it's a good thing that he already knew where he was going. Until I went to church in August, I haven't been to church since 1977 or something.
Just recently started keeping attendance records, a conference was sending us attendance sheets. And what do we do with those?
When questions arise, the group leader here, Ken Robbins, says, you know, what do we do about this? What do we do about this?
I called Jeannie at the conference office. I emailed her. And I said, what do we do? Do we count Adventists? Do we count adults? Do we count children? And I don't think she knew there was that many of us in Barrow. And her email reply was, oh my goodness, count everyone, every warm body, if there are those in Barrow.
Last week we had, I think, 23 people. It was really wonderful. It's amazing what God does when you step out in faith. I kicked and screamed the whole way, but then when I calmed down, I realized this is what I do. I work with very young children.
I have a 2-year-old daughter, or an almost 2-year-old daughter, who I think, you know, like all 2-year-old children, needs to be informed about who God is and why He's there and everything He's done for her. What I was doing with my life wasn't going to do that for her. Carol is a professional teacher, and you know, and it really shines through in what she does in Sabbath School every week. Being part of the church and taking her to Sabbath School and doing it with her and making it a fun experience and making it something that she wants to do for the rest of her life is a lot more likely to lead her to heaven than not being involved and not doing it. And so that's a big part of why I'm doing it.
One of the most exciting things about the nature of the group in Barrow is they have a hunger for more people. Anytime they get even a whiff of someone arriving in town who has an Adventist background or may have an Adventist interest, they're immediately seeking to invite them to their meetings and join in their fellowship.
I was looking for a Bible study group, and I didn't know any of the churches here, so I went to several. Then I met a friend, Dorcas Stein, who's also a member of the Seventh-day Adventist. I wanted to see what they were about, so I went to their Sabbath lesson, and they were doing Bible study that I wanted and was looking for, and I kept coming back. And then about a year and a half later, I became a member and got baptized. This is the first time in my life that I've gotten to know what Jesus Christ is all about, and to feel it, and it's a really good thing.
It's amazing because a pastor here in Barrow, Jim, his grandfather went to Borneo and brought my mom to the church. So it's really amazing because I'm here now.
To me, it doesn't matter wherever you live in the world. God is the same.
I really like being an Adventist.
We hope you've been inspired. I know I have, by seeing how God is working in Barrow. Good things have been happening here in the North Pacific Union. From Alaska to Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, God continues to work miracles in the lives of active Adventists. Now, till next quarter, this has been Northwest Spotlight on Mission.